Alright, ladies and gents, back at it with another different video. What I'm going to show you today is how to beat the Heroic Umbral Escalation. Alright. Weeping Hours. Please do not moan about requiring chrono. It's necessary. I mean, Umbral's opposite element is Radiant, right? Makes sense. Pulse Cell, Parasitic Cell. Reaper's Dance. Momentum Blades as your mod. Fangs of Dawn, which is the Rezakiri bond. Okay, very simple. Iceborne Omnicell. Okay. Scarn's Defiance Lantern. Etheric Attunement Cell. Sight of Stone. Toughness Cell. Thrax's Shadow with a Pulse Cell. Boreal Might with a Berserker Cell. Volcanic Treads with a Berserker Cell. Okay? Overall, what this whole process is going to give you is the following perks. +6 Berserker. Okay? 35% damage. +6 Cunning. Alright? Every critical hit you do, add a 30% critical strike damage. Alright? And you get 10% more critical strike chance. +6 Pulse. Guarantees a critical hit strike with every 5th hit. And 15% more critical strike damage. This is very useful for timing your Reaper's Dance. Tenacious. With this build, you have 1,400 hit points. That means you've got 28% baseline bonus damage. Toughness. Alright. The increase to your maximum health helps out tremendously. Okay. Etheric Attunement and Parasitic are basically just there to keep you alive. Okay. Now, there is a slight alternative. I do not recommend it, but there is a slight alternative. If you do not want to use the Rezakiri bond for some god-awful reason, Volimir's Revenge will work just fine. And then what you do is you swap out the Pulse and Cunning Cells and all that. You trash this, okay? You change it over, like you can put in Chrono Treads, right, for full Pulse here. Okay? Then what you'll do here is that you'll dump this for something else. Like you can use Mantle of Thorns to get Predator. Put in more Etheric Attunement, and then up here, you can put in another Predator cell. Something like that will work just fine. Okay, you miss out on a bit of Berserker, but you could swap this Berserker to Tenacious, and that way you have 1,700 hit points with Pulse, more baseline damage, and a different bond if you don't like the Rezakiris. But honestly, it's up to you which one you choose. I prefer the Rezakiris, so forgive me, I'm just gonna adjust that back. So yeah. Oops, sorry. I just find it better to not rely on Predator. But that's just me in a nutshell, because I do expect to take a hit or two, and it can honestly be devastating sometimes if you do. Alright, let's go. Now, I'm sure you guys want to see the combat showcase, because there's literally no point in playing a Heroic Escalation with no combat showcase. That serves no purpose. So here we go. I will solo it, obviously, without using any consumables. Same standards as always. Just remember that when you're doing it that way, make sure that your technical skill is up to snuff. Okay, don't be bad. If you're bad, there's nothing I can do. Oh, one more week till I can get my crown. Alright. Please make sure your technical skills are good before you try and solo this shit. Anyway, one last thing. If you guys want to support the channel, you can like, share, and subscribe right now. Alright. If you want to keep my channel going, drop a tip via the link in the description of the video. Become a channel member. Send super thanks on YouTube, or purchase Asian Robot merchandise. All of it helps me out. So yeah, it's just up to you how you want to keep the channel running, because remember, you guys pay me. I do not get paid by Dauntless or anybody else. Alright, so if nobody supports the channel goes under, plain and simple. Alright, I'm not gonna mince my words. Okay, due to a slight boo-boo, which you may have noticed, which was the +9 Tenacious. That's what happens when I try to show two vids at once and, you know, make the video fast. I have adjusted the build back to the full Berserker build, so the +9 Tenacious does not exist, okay? That's the only reason you're seeing a cut. This is the exact same build I did earlier, okay? So nothing has changed, alright? Not doing anything shady in the background. Just wanted to showcase that before we go in. Alright. So I made an error earlier, which I think some of you may have noticed and seen. So I do apologize for that. That was not intentional. But sometimes when I try to showcase like two things at once, you know, doesn't exactly go smoothly. Also, just so you know, there's some who prefer the Adrenaline to Berserker, but I generally think it's honestly up to you which one you prefer. I am impartial to both. If you feel more comfortable using Adrenaline, please use Adrenaline. If it makes you feel better, please use what makes you feel better. Alright, because there's no point in you using something that you don't feel comfortable with. And roughly the effects are similar, so I'm just, you know, noting that. The reason I find Berserker more meaningful most of the time is because it's just easier to anticipate Berserker's effects. And yes, I do lose out a bit of damage as compared to having Adrenaline, but, well, these little things are, you know, what matters to me, so. Also, don't mind the wound damage, that just comes naturally with my Umbral Escalation skill tree. It has nothing to do with the build at all. Alright, so, here. And again, if you're wondering why I don't use the power of serrated blades, plain and simple, you don't really want a situation where you're out of jumps. Momentum blades effectively doubles your special, which is very, 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 very useful. You do not ever want to miss out on that. Now, when you have a situation where you have both the Riftstalker and Cool Shot, the smart decision, take care of the Cool Shot first. Because that thing, especially at heroic level, does a lot of damage with the spines. Okay, you really don't want to deal with that. Yes, the Riftstalker does a lot of damage as well, but it's much easier to counter. Just letting you know. I've unintentionally countered a Riftstalker. Cool Shot, on the other hand, though, takes some calculation to deal with. Like so. So be very careful with it. Got a Whisper. I'll attend to it after the battle. You want to be very careful here, because if you do not, well, you're the one who's gonna have a bad time, especially with the Cool Shot. It's almost dead, so just focus it down. As soon as it's done, you'll be alright. Because that's the one thing you don't want to deal with. The Cool Shot is annoying, especially with its high damage. it can be one of the most annoying creatures to deal with, especially in a group situation. And by group, I mean Behemoth group, not your group. Well, even if it was a group of Slayers, I'd still go for Close Shot first, because it's just annoying. Now you can choose to knock this thing down if you want. Up to you, honestly. For me, it depends. Sometimes I will go for the knockdown. Heroics, I do not often risk it, but I'll leave it up to the individual to decide. Back into the Murder Palace? Okay. You can dish out plenty of damage to Riftstalker, and it has low hit points, so you don't need to worry too much. Now, depending upon your skill level, you may be able to boop it down. Me, I failed. So now that I failed, I'm just gonna quietly ignore this until it's done, then get back into the slaying. Because it's very easy to recover your hit points, so I'm not worried, but sometimes hitting it is a bit hard. Murder Palace again. This is where life gets a little bit... There we go. This is where life gets a little bit interesting, but also annoying. Because the Riftstalker's a pain. Now, facing it is obviously not going to be as painful as facing Bloodshot Shroud, Thunderdeep, Trask, and all that other shenanigans, but hey, it is what it is, right? Riftstalker, I guess, is still a bit of pain. It's not that bad, but also not that good either. And I prefer not to risk the boop on Heroics, because they can wipe you out if you're silly, and sometimes I'm silly. The key thing to Heroics, right, for a lot of people, which they need to learn, is that don't take risks that you're not prepared for. A lot of people take risks early, and that is basically what screws them over, because they don't realize that, you know, they're actually you know, committing to very risky behavior that is basically gonna get them snickerdoodled. So, all right, every dodge 20% more damage, and now I've got 10% more damage to my name already. So that helps me out. All your amps and stuff, that's also going to help you out. So just choose very carefully. I tend to choose offensive amps where I can, because that's the fastest way to get this over and done with. There we go. I like Scraves, to be fair. They used to be such a pain before I understood the system, but Scraves are good because they have very low base hit points. Thankfully, they are less annoying than a lot of other creatures out there. And you can practically ignore their stupid winter orbs, because as annoying as it is to fight an Aether Charged Scrave, they don't really have that much strength to them. As you can see, ignoring their winter orbs is a smart and wise decision, because it lets you tear through the enemy very easily. And your visibility is not so bad that, you know, you'd be unable to carry on completely. That's what a lot of people don't understand with Scraves. They fear the winter orbs, they try and go for them, and then get themselves killed. You don't have to panic. Legit. Just keep playing as per normal. Make good use of your special to get from location to location. Where you can chain into it, just chain into it. It's a lot easier than worrying about, you know, hitting it with combos. Because your stamina is more for when it tornadoes. There you go. See? Scrave dead. That helps bring your escalation level up. And once again, we haven't died or used a single consumable. I think you guys can see that. Let me see. Ooh, Lady Luck's Barrage. That is unbelievably powerful, so make sure you utilize that. Just to showcase that we haven't used a single consumable. There you go. My consumables are all still at max. Alright, not a single consumable, not a single death so far. And even if you do die, you literally have your Carnivore Legendary to preserve you. Now people might think this is a bit strange. Shouldn't you fight Embermane first? No. The Embermane is a small pain, but okay, that rhymed. But basically, if you want to, you can literally ignore it and go for the Scarn first. Scarn is more dangerous to you and your gameplay than the Embermane is. The reason for that is that the Scarn, being a static creature, tends to dish out a lot more damage and can be devastating when you're trying to fight the Embermane. So you want full focus on being able to fight the Embermane later and not be worrying about this guy coming in. That's why a lot of people go for Embermane first, because they perceive him as the easier behemoth, and in a solo situation or in normal circumstances he would be, but this is heroic. He does a lot more damage, and you don't want him to start breathing fire and shit while you've got a Scarn to worry about in the background. Especially if the Scarn goes in rage mode. Then what are you gonna do? That's where a lot of people have issues. If you let the Embermane keep charging, it's not a big threat. You can just let it be, sort of, almost. Sorry, I had to scratch my nose there. Now you may still get occasionally hit by the Ember Pain, but or by the Scarn, but again, you're not reliant. Number one, this build doesn't rely on Predator, so you're not losing out damage. And furthermore, you're also not too worried, because as much fire as it breathes, the Scarn serves as your shield. It's always very annoying when it does Aether Charge, but just don't panic and you'll be fine. I try to take my position behind the Scarn, because I know that if anything goes wrong, Scarn will eat the attack for me. See? Kind of like that. Well, I may also eat an attack from the Scarn, but the point is Scarn will mostly eat the attacks for me. Now, we're talking. This is where we often have fun. Alright, come on, Embermane. Now you can do all the things to it that you've imagined for a while now. Okay, in a, well, I guess non-disgusting manner. Because I know many of you are degenerates. This is where all that damage comes in, and it's beautiful. I was busy breathing fire. Hit it with everything you got. It can fire blast all at once, it's still gonna be weak. Lol, it got hit by the Umbral Orb. That is adorable. Ember dork. Okay, grand. Attack speed for the final. And now we face the Thrax. He is the ultimate in being super annoying. That's okay. Alright, here we go. Keep in mind that on Heroic, Thrax will instantly Umbral Aether Charge. But he won't do his lines across the floor just yet. He just has Aether Charge. Which means that he gets his Aether Charge attacks right off the bat. But again, not a difficult situation to deal with. In fact, it is a surprisingly easy situation to deal with. Just unleash as many attacks as you want. He's not that strong. Just be careful of when you do unleash certain attacks on him, because he will run like that. This is the time to just enjoy the music and take him out, because honestly, Thrax, Heroic Thrax is really easy compared to the other Heroics. Now if you do get eaten like that, you are dead, because I've noticed he instantly kills you. So this is the only time where your Chronovore comes in super handy, because, oh, I'm down? Well, 1 second later, I'm back up. That is literally the only attack you have to be careful of. That's his only insta-kill. So thankfully, compared to a lot of the others, he doesn't have like super insta-kills all the time, which is good. But he's still fairly like easy overall, all things considered. Because genuinely speaking, if he had more insta-kills, he'd be a lot harder to take on. The only thing that's more annoying, I guess, is that he uses a lot more of his ball squish attacks, which can obviously make it a bit more difficult for you to dish out maximum damage. Now, when he finally does put down the lines, keep in mind that his claws will consistently appear everywhere. Okay, don't mind them too much, but you do have to be a bit careful of them. Okay. And you want a situation something like that, because if you don't do that, you're gonna have a very bad situation on your hands. Now, getting him into an open space is probably going to be the more annoying part of this whole process, but as you can see, it's not too difficult, realistically speaking. Shit. I usually go airborne before he does that, but oh well. Missed up that opportunity. Come on, worm boy, get over here. When he goes, the best timing is that when he goes airborne, you go airborne too. That can be super cool. Oh shit. Missed my timing to slam down. Oh no, Aether charge round 2. Oh, he's dead. Pathetic. There you go. I wanted a no death run, but unfortunately got eaten once. Anyway, there you go. That's how to beat the Heroic Umbral Escalation. One easy step. Okay? It's really not difficult when you have the right build, and the Chain Blaze is just a snap. Okay? So thank you. I hope this guide helps you out. And of course, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. If you want to support the channel, you want to keep it running, drop a tip via the link in the description of the video. You can send super thanks on YouTube, become a channel member, or purchase RealAsianRobot merchandise. Up to you. Thank you very much for watching, and don't forget, we got to thank our Throne of Honor, Puni OnlyFan, JP Best Prestige, Zach NFG Prestige, The Forgotten Prestige, Ian Bodrez Prestige. Thank you guys so much. And also big thank you to November's top supporters, Bravo7910, Crampy D, Johnny Nara, FNX Killer 43, Zavi Uzumaki, Alcorn 0511, Alien Frost 80, Kesmanta My Lovely Girl, Zach NFG, Starbuzz, Lucifer Von Tau X, Puni Rogue Assassin, Ashaz Garzi, Lucas Graham, and I'm a Boxhead. Appreciate each and every one of you, and I'll catch you all on the next one, okay?